Hi, Ray Moran with V20 here today with Nicholas Kanialides, the Asia Director for the IVSC. And Nicholas, hi, welcome. We're honored to have you with us today. And just, as a thought, I've always believed that the Asia Pacific region has both the highest potential and is the fastest growing part of the world for the valuation profession. And you're right in the middle of it in Singapore. So I'm curious for your thoughts on the region.
Well, Ray, thank you for having me. And you're absolutely correct. In fact, the IVSC has its roots in Asia since the organization was created in the early 80s in Melbourne, Australia. And of course, now we have an office in Singapore, very much in the thick of things when it comes to Asia. And that is not only an office, but really we're seeing increased representation of all sorts of individuals from many jurisdictions joining the various technical boards that we have and the other governing instances of the IVSC. So the region is obviously very diverse, and this diversity is reflected in what we're doing. At last count, we have, I think, about 67 member organizations, so over a third of our member organizations coming from the Asia Pacific region. So that's very encouraging.
That's very impressive. And in fact, I know there are several IVSC committee members within the Asia Pacific region. So I think the region is very well represented in real property, plant machinery, and business valuation.
Yes, and also the Financial Instruments Board. And they're not only the technical board. So you mentioned the technical boards, and then you have this the Standards Review Board, which oversees everything. And then you also obviously have the Board of Trustees, where you have eminences such as Lim Hui Hua, who used to be a minister here in Singapore. And then we have created very recently an Asia Committee, which is headed by Gita Wirjawan, who used to be the trade minister in Indonesia, and that really federates about 10 people from all walks of life when it comes to Asia. So it's so really we have both an Asian presence within our instances, and we have a specific committee to really spearhead the growth of the IVSC across the region.
I wasn't aware of the Asian Committee. That's really impressive, and congratulations. Switching over to the V20, Nicholas, I know you've been an early supporter of the V20, and we thank you for that. But I'm curious, when you first met Saurabh Gupta and he pitched the idea of the V20 to you, what was your first reaction?
Well, first of all, when I started at the IVSC, when we opened the office in Singapore, one of my first trips was to India, and really it was breathtaking. I'd been to India earlier, so I was familiar with India in a personal capacity, but it was breathtaking to see how vibrant the whole valuation community is, and therefore, and Saurabh and his team were really instrumental in introducing me to a number of stakeholders over there. This is, of course, a long running effort. India is going to be the object of constant efforts for us to grow and expand and promote the IVS and the IVSC in that great country. And so when I heard about the V20, I was very impressed by the sheer ambition of the project. And in fact, I'm just very impressed by what they've been able to achieve in such a short time. From what seemed like a crazy idea of doing a V20 in a very, very short time span. But from what I understand, and obviously we're speaking before the just a couple of weeks before the actual event, I can see the sign-ups. I can see that it's going to be a great success. So that's of course very encouraging. But it is part of a broader, longer-term, slower burn effort towards the Indian community.
Yeah, I definitely agree. It's an effort that's very well worth undertaking. Nicholas, your name comes up frequently as we now finalize the agenda and speaking slots for the V20, and your name is always spoken up highly regarding ethics and standards. But I'm curious, is there any one topic or issue that you're most passionate about when it comes to the valuation profession?
Well, that's very kind of you to say. Obviously my background is very much business valuation more than anything else, and the advances that we have seen in the valuation techniques in the past few years when it comes to business valuations, and that's not to say that there haven't been any advances in other domains, are just breathtaking, and it's a very, very exciting time. So that's what I would say interests me most. When it comes to ethics, it's very clear that, as the IVSC promotes professionalism doesn't exist without the foundation of ethics. So that is an integral part of what we do and what underpins our work and our standards, the International Valuation Standards, the IVS. So the two cannot be dissociated. The ethics part and the technique part, they are very, very much just one thing. When it comes to, well, perhaps my background, because I spent the early years of my career in the securities markets, and we had to deal with, I witnessed a number of not so glorious episodes when it comes to the late 90s, early 2000s, and then again the great financial crisis. To some extent, these experiences really marked me, and these were in part failures of ethics. And so I always have that in the back of my mind when talking about valuation techniques today. The instances of what happened to Enron, to the house builders, the financial institutions that had a not so glorious end in the great financial crisis. All this is very still resonates with me, and that is perhaps what something that I carry even today as we discuss ethics and promote the international valuation standards. I would also say that ethics is something that we always talk about when reaching out to when reaching out to future valuers. So that could be students, that could be young professionals who are thinking of becoming valuers, or even professionals in finance who do valuations as part of their day-to-day job. So when we reach out to these professionals, we always insist on the importance of ethics.
Yeah, I totally agree, particularly when it comes to recruiting younger people from universities into our profession, because it really is such a rapidly growing and evolving and fun profession to follow. We just need more of them involved. So this is great. Nicholas, thank you so much. Any final thoughts for the audience that you'd like to share, either V20 or just on the valuation profession?
Well, I'm sure the V20 is going to be a great success. We know who the speakers are. The other speakers, we already have a good sense of who will be in the audience. I know quite a few of these people, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be at a very, very high level of stimulating debate, and so that is something I really, really look forward to. I'm also looking forward to the international aspect, because we have attendees and speakers coming from many countries, and that's going to be interesting to see them in India, which is a extraordinary place. And I think the meeting of the minds will really be something that I and everyone else will enjoy. So I'm counting down the days to my arrival, and I look forward to meeting all of our viewers there.
I totally agree. I'm excited, looking forward to it, and I just think it's going to be a wonderful event. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much for your time today. This has been a very enjoyable discussion, and I really am looking forward to seeing you in New Delhi.
Yeah, so do I. Thank you very much, Ray.
Thank you.